Hey guys, hope you're doing well. For the past month, I've been rocking these gorgeous custom headlights on my car with the goal of getting some perspective on them in daily use to pass along to you guys in an in-depth review. I am giving these headlights away to one of you guys, so I wanted to get the most perspective on them as possible, and I actually was able to go a little bit back and forth with the seller, so let's go ahead and get into it. Now we only have 1 week left for the giveaway, so if you want to enter, just head down to the merch store linked underneath this video, pick anything up. We have the shirt that I'm wearing, we also have them in hoodie versions, and this is the one that I wear a lot, but the Texas weather has me going back and forth between the shirt and the hoodie. We have them in a couple colorways, so this is in black, and then we also have the Cruisin' in My Fusion Design shirt, and at you guys' request, we also now have some stickers, so basically if you want to add them anywhere, just get some extra entries in there, you can absolutely do that. And then my favorite thing that we just launched, the embroidered dad hat. You can see it has that little design right there. Absolutely love it. This little buckle in the back. And you guys know I wear a hat in basically every single one of my videos, so this is definitely going to get a lot of miles. And then once you've picked something up, the second thing to do is just comment down below the time you placed your order, as well as an Instagram handle so I have a way to contact you. That is it. You are in. Honestly, I'm probably most impressed with this dad hat because basically all the merch on the website is stuff that I would aim to wear every day. And obviously I'm a big hat guy, especially when you got as much hair as I do. But all these designs are between me and Preston, and this one, it fits so well and has a really nice silhouette because a lot of times whenever you're buying a dad hat, they can be a little bit more structured and just kind of make your head shaped a little bit differently. I would basically say this is just about the same as the blue Cowboys hat that I always wear. There is an aspect of hats that I don't really know how to put into words, but I'm gonna try. But it's basically like if you can put the hat on without having to look in the mirror, make sure like it's not unaligned or just kind of curved in a different way. Basically just putting it on and just going right out the door. The first thing I want to point out is that the install of these headlights is very, very easy. So similar to the Porsche style taillights where basically right out of the box it has that little animation, these are the same. So when you unlock it, you have an animation on these as well. Now, the way that these are actually set up is where you have dual projectors. They actually both function as a high beam and a low beam. You have these little accent lights right here that function as your turn signals. You have a corner light right here that's just a corner light. And then the housing is black with a clear lens. Now, the really cool thing about that is that the internals are also all either black or clear, giving it this really dark and sleek look. So if you have, say, black accents on your vehicle or you just have a murdered out look on your car, these are gonna accent it really, really well, especially if you have, say, a gloss black honeycomb grille. It's really gonna make everything look really, really nice. It's a really nice facelift for sure. So these headlights retail for about $650, which is a really good deal considering it is an entirely new design, even separate than the Demon Eye edition. And that's pretty comparable to the Mustang style headlights in pricing, but I've never actually seen any form of, I can't actually call this a retrofit because it comes out of the box this way, but any form of aftermarket lighting, whether it be RGB, single color, Demon Eyes, for this vehicle for less than $1,000. So these at $650 is a really, really good deal. Now, the functionality of these is definitely really nice, but to get the most understanding of how it works, we're gonna actually take them off one last time before moving them for the final time, so I can actually show you guys some of the internals. Now with the headlights off the vehicle, you can actually get some good perspective on the build quality, which does feel really nice. It feels very intentional, very securely sealed, and honestly pretty polished. I'd say it feels more polished than the Mustang style headlights. And if you check right here, you'll actually see an inspection certificate with a little logo at the top for Cool Motor. These are coming from small shops. They're not, large companies, so usually there's not much branding. So I'm assuming Cool Motor might be the people that actually make these things. And then if you check down here, you'll actually see the connector for the vehicle. And here is the headlight harness, so it actually can connect to it directly, and you'll have full functionality minus the high beams. And I say it like that because this kit does come with a harness for the functionality of the high beams. It's very easy to use. You just connect this end to the headlight and this end to the car, so basically just sandwiches between the two. But full disclosure, when I ordered my kit, they did forget to add it in. I basically reached out to them saying, hey, the high beams are not working, and whenever they realized that this was not included in the kit, they took full accountability and sent me the harness, and it showed up in about a week. And from there, the high beams were working, which it is still pretty cool that it's almost plug and play minus the high beam aspect, but obviously you want to get full functionality, so if you order the kit, make sure it has the harness in it. I find the easiest way to connect it is to put the harness on the headlight so that neither part is stationary, and just connecting the two like that. And this is basically how you do it. Right here's the adjustment for the projectors in height, so if you want to go higher or lower, all you got to do is take a screwdriver to it. I would advise against taking a power tool because it's probably more power than it needs and it's just plastic. And then over here, you actually have the adjustment for side to side. One of the really cool things is you can actually get access to the internals. As you see right here, it says open and close and has little arrows. That's because you can actually twist this. So when you open this up, you can actually see the inside of the headlights, all the wiring and whatnot. And if you're a little bit more electronically inclined than I am, I'm sure you can make sense of all these different factors. But I'm not, so not really going to mess with it too much. So styling wise, these are a really nice facelift from the factory headlights, but functionally they're an even bigger upgrade because the dual projectors give off this really crisp, clean and white light, and it's actually a very sharp edge. So with that, they're very easy to adjust. And they do retain all the factory settings, so if you have automatic lights on, that will automatically take over whenever it's dark. But if you want to turn on the demon eyes themselves, all you got to do from the vehicle being off is move this over to this one right here. This is a DRL setting. And there you go. Now these are the DRLs and the demon eyes in direct sunlight, and even now you can see they are still really bright. Now in the install video, I did leave the door open for questions, so I'm gonna try to knock those out as efficiently as I can. So the most consistent question that I've got is what year range will these fit? So these are only for 2013 through 2016. Unfortunately, they do not have them for 2017 plus yet, but I imagine it would be a situation similar to how they did the Mustang style headlights, where they start developing them for the 2013, 2016, make sure there's interest and demand. If there is, you know, go 2017 plus. So don't rule it out just yet. I feel pretty confident that they'll do it, but at the time of filming this video, it is just 2013 to 2016. Next question, can you get in trouble for driving with demon eyes? So red lights on the front of your vehicle are reserved for emergency vehicles, so cops, ambulances, fire trucks and whatnot. So short answer is yes, you can get in trouble for it. These are meant to be used basically recreationally, so car meets, photo shoots, basically just kind of be parked somewhere. I will say though, living in Dallas, I've seen a lot more elaborate light shows, if you want to call them that, on vehicles. So just, you know, you're going with caution, but the biggest thing is definitely just that these are meant to be used as any other headlight retrofit is. You know, obviously if you have a full RGB setup, you're not going full RGB as you're driving. These are just a much more toned down version of that, but that is the answer on that. But that's the really cool thing about these headlights as well, because it does have the safety feature where you basically need the vehicle to be off to actually turn the demon eyes on, so it needs to be very intentional. The chances of actually turning them on unintentionally are pretty low. And then with that, obviously the demon eye aspect for the startup is completely legal because you're not driving the vehicle, you're just unlocking it, which is usually why retrofits just out of the box have a startup animation, and then from there just go to their driving mode, which might be a DRL or even just the projectors on. Then the last thing, is there a way to separate the demon eyes from the DRLs in casual driving? So basically you're just driving with just the DRLs on. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find a way to do that. It seems like the DRLs are actually tied with the projectors, so whether it's the demon eyes or the actual low beam, that's when they're gonna turn on. However, because you can actually get access to the internals, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody finds a way to do it relatively casually, but I will leave that for somebody that is actually gonna keep these, because again, getting rid of these next week. Yeah, next week these are gonna be shipped out. So while actually editing this video, the seller reached out to me to let me know that they actually made a new harness for these things that will allow you to retain the factory DRL functionality minus the demon eyes. So literally the exact scenario I was bringing up, they've already taken care of it. One of the perks of these things being so new, they're constantly gonna be working on it, tinkering it and updating it. Now, it looks a little bit more complex than it actually is. All you're really going to be doing is connecting to an accessory power, which you can use a fuse tap and go to the fuse box if you want to, make it a little bit easier. And then you're connecting the negative to a ground. So basically you can use like a self tapper and just connect it to an area of metal. It really does not need to be overcomplicated or anything. But if you have any questions, please reach out to them. They have been super helpful throughout this whole thing. And they're definitely going to be able to give you a lot more information on these things than I am. I'm really just relaying all the information that they gave me. Now, having them on my car for a month, I did count 3 issues. The first one was the high beams, which was an easy fix, just, you know, actually having the harness just makes them work. So that one got checked off pretty quickly. The second one is actually something that was pointed out to me by a few of you guys, in that the turn signal animation was going in reverse of where it was advertised. So basically, rather than going from the inside to the outside, it was going from the outside to the inside, which can be a little confusing because if it's the light on the right flashing the signal right, the animation is going to the left. So it's actually a super easy fix. I was able to be walked through it by the technician and it took me maybe about 10 minutes. All you're actually doing is opening up the actual headlight. You can see these 3 connectors right here. The 2 black ones, all you're doing is swapping them. So you have this little section that you can press right here and it unhooks, and you're just swapping it to the other one. And that's it, you're just doing it for all 4. And then just like that, you have the proper sequential order. And the last thing, when you're driving at night and obviously you have your projectors on and you put on your turn signal, while it's signaling, your projectors will flicker a little bit. Couldn't really figure out why, and so I reached out to them and they gave me a few possible reasons, but basically just said like, hey, send us a set back, we'll take care of it, and we'll give you a new set that will have everything accounted for. So the good news is that they're on top of it, and the set that I'm gonna be giving away is a set that hasn't been on my car for a month. It's been on there for a few days. Now the best thing about this whole setup is that the shop that actually makes these, though there were some hiccups, they were very accommodating and understanding and wanted to make sure they could get everything taken care of in a timely manner and just make sure that they worked exactly as they should. So I do want to give them a big shout out for that, because they gave me a lot of information on these things that I was able to pass along to you guys. So definitely a scenario that I'm very happy with. So they are going to be linked in the description box down below in case you want to check them out yourself. But that is going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next one.